Get that motherfucker!
Well, now it's functioning.
The threat of unplugging it.
Yeah, it's just like, I'll behave, I promise. Oh my god. It's pointed up. Can you bring it down? Hello, everyone. Yes. Beautiful, right there. Holy Jesus. Let's hope to God that this doesn't malfunction again.
And if it does, we'll just threaten it into submission.
Be careful, it might enjoy that. So let's try this again, now that I'm back. Can you actually close the door too? And actually. Yes, you're probably gonna have to suffer about 2 seconds in the passenger rear door.
Oh, it's gonna be so cold!
Yeah, I know. In the passenger rear door, it's a passenger rear. I'll go out later to do it. Pretty much, I need to find out what the matching dye is to this, and my green sample bag is in the side pocket of one of those 2 rear doors.
I'll go do it. I won't like it.
No, grab my keys just in case.
Okay, where are your keys at?
Right side pocket of the jacket, right behind you.
Okay. I'll be back. Pray for me.
Hello, everyone. Again, let's try this now that I'm not having malfunctions with my damn camera. The 4K camera kept crashing OBS, and now for whatever reason it's working. Nothing changed. So we'll figure out what exactly is going on in a second. But with that said, welcome back. Sorry I was gone on a hiatus for so long. Myself and the holidays don't mix very well. Like, I actually go into like a really depressive state, so that doesn't bode well. But we got a few projects that we're actually going to be getting finished up today. One of them I worked on yesterday. I actually had the creative bug hit me again. And then with that bug came with being able to do this again. So the first thing that we're going to be knocking out, actually, I should be on the other side for this. If the audio seems a bit weird, please let me know. Again, we were having audio malfunctions. I couldn't get the audio to play on any other device other than the desktop, so there's probably going to be minimal music playing. Yes, that's the one. Was it the right side?
Yes.
Aha! I was right. You can just set it on the table. Ugh.
My feet are so cold.
Yeah, it happens. Actually, I'm going to leave this out. Hey, that worked out really well. So one of the first projects that we got lined up that we're going to be banging out. Mindrax, audio is okay in case you want to know. Thank you so much. Also, I see you're a first-time chatter. Welcome. First thing that we're going to be knocking out is there's a bracelet that I got commissioned a while back. So essentially how it's going to work is, this is the idea, and I already ran it by the customers so they know exactly what's going to work. They unfortunately cannot join in for Twitch on this, so you can't be here for the entire process. But this is essentially how it's going to work. I need to stitch all this, I need to mount all this stuff, and then after that stitching, next thing that we can do, it should be relatively easy, is going to be this flashlight case, because I need to get these 2 pieces to match the die that's already on here. I'm just doing a slight update and refurbishing of it, and I need to find the correct die that would match this. As close as we can. I'm not going to be going with black, that's for sure. Honestly, I might be looking at probably this dark chocolate I got right here. but then just do multiple applications so that it gets really, really dark. Because it looks lighter than what it is actually on camera, so that's probably what we're going to be going with. So I'm going to set that. Oh, that's the purple sample piece that I got. So I got dark chocolate. That is going to go there. This is all going to get assembled. So, we'll get into the stitching fun. But, for Mindrax, thank you so much for joining in on this. Happy to see that I got a first-time viewer on here, and actually since the last time I did this, I actually got 2 more followers. What would be Coconut890X and then Seabear. Seabear is actually a good friend of mine from an older streamer that I used to collab with. That was back during the pandemic. Good to see that she found me and still enjoys, or still misses, or wants to hang out and support me where she can, so I do greatly appreciate that. I'm going to adjust the camera down a smidge. That should, no, that's going to go way more. There we go. That's a lot better.
Get that motherfucker!
Yeah, you're gonna want the rubber underneath that. So the question that I actually have for you, Mindrax, is how'd you end up finding me? Was it through a search? Was it through one of the posts that I put up? Because I had it up on Reddit, a couple of Telegram locations, on some of my social media circles that I have with friends in my state. There's a couple of different options, so wanted to get your opinion and ask. Ah, yes! Yeah, I hadn't posted there in a while. Leathercrafting is something that I do enjoy. Something that I did have kind of like on the back burner of things where it's like, okay, I do this, but I keep it kind of hidden. And then as time has gone on, I've kind of realized, like, I don't need to be hiding this anymore. So I started going ahead and posting more about my leathercrafting on there, but I'm happy to see that you found me and that you have now joined the party. Just felt like, why not? Well, hopefully you enjoy your time here. I started this late last year, because I've been doing this for a while. In terms of leathercrafting, streaming and furry stuff, I've been doing since like 2016. Yeah, about 2016. And I'm actually, if you go to my YouTube channel at all, you'll see that I'm actually I'm actually in Michigan, so it's not exactly like it's a secret. But with that, I actually am staff for that local convention over there. I'm gonna have to use one of my other stitch forks for this. I am staff for the convention over there, but I took a hiatus this year because I was going through a lot of personal changes and going through a lot of personal struggles. So I had to step down for this upcoming con to make sure that I could focus on it. There we go. And in the process of doing that, I figured that I shouldn't be hiding this because it's something that I enjoy. Both all that stuff when it came to FurCon stuff, I haven't been able to do like the interview stuff that I usually used to do and going out to events. So I figured, you know what? What's something else that I can do that can not only make content, but something that I enjoy. And lo and behold, here I am doing this. So if you ever want to chill out and see a creator migrate from one to the other, because I stopped trying to do YouTube when I had an honest struggle and issue with the fact that I couldn't really interact with the chat as much. You know, like, yes, like there can be conversations that are had, but it's kind of hard to actually engage with you guys and give you opportunities to actually, like, I don't know if I would say like have fun, but like mess with me, interact with me in some capacity. So I wanted to have some other opportunities for you guys. I'm gonna try to repunch these. That worked better. That worked way better. What I'm shooting for. So I got the chat actually up in front of me, but I also got it on my side here, so I can actually kind of have two spots to actually make sure that I'm talking with you guys. But the other thing that was actually, just because it jogged my memory, that was the request of the customer for this, is that they wanted a little inside pocket, because this is actually going to be for their friend's kid. So they wanted something that they can like have like affirming messages in there that they can look at. So came up with that idea. I try to do MS Paint renders of all my work before I actually start commissioning them, because leather work, unlike upholstery or like for other like cloths, is that you really can't mess up upholstery, or it's like if you do some stitching wrong, you can bust the stitching, you can redo it. When you're doing leather work, if you mess up the stitching or if you cut it wrong, you're kind of screwed. So you got to be particularly careful when it comes to leather work. And if you do enjoy this, you know, having the conversations, getting to know me, getting to know each other, by all means, go ahead and drop the follow on that. Can you pass me the wooden stitch horse over there? Give me a follow, because I try to do this every Sunday in the morning, because currently I have Sundays off. Yeah, buddy. I have Sundays off. There we go. So I try to do this every Sunday. Oh, Mindrax, thank you so much. Thank you for the follow. So I'm trying to migrate over from YouTube, and sometimes it's easier said than done. There we go. Where's the small stitch? There we go. That's what we'll start with. And this is the other thing that I actually really like about the setup that I got, because I enjoy showing and teaching, because it's one of the things that I actually thoroughly enjoy about the learning process. It's one of the things that I thoroughly enjoy about artwork is that I appreciate the work that's being done, but I know for myself, I gain a better appreciation for the work that's being done when I kind of see the process itself. So, like, being able to actually, like, see, like, this is how it goes from, like, square one to where it's at. You know, there are some couple of art commissions that I did years ago that I have the early proofs of it. And I had talked to the artist to be like, hey, like, is this something that you could do? They said, sure. And I gained so much more appreciation for the art that was being done. And because that's something that I valued, I wanted to go ahead and make it so that there was that opportunity for others too. So I knew that when I was doing this, before I ended up getting on Twitch, with friends and customers that ended up commissioning me, I said, hey, do you want to see the entire creation process? I'll send you pictures partway through, and then it actually also acts as a good check and balance for myself and the customer, because if there's a sudden change in something, well, if they catch it early enough, there's not going to be an increase in price or anything. It's just going to be, all right, thanks for telling me, you know, it's early enough in the process where there doesn't need to be like a redoing of the entire fucking project. And now that I've moved over to Twitch, actually now that I started streaming this, it gives people the ability to see the creation process, and then for that person to be able to make comments in the chat and be like, listen, like, hey, like, I love this thing, you know, but can we do like this one thing different, or can we change this, you know, so they can have essentially live input without having to be in my personal residence. And with this setup, I can get you guys close enough in so that you can see the process. And for now, it is on the dim side, but no longer.
Whoa.
Chuck, how dare you? My friend is over just off camera, being supportive and a mild shithead. But what I don't understand is that she tells me that she actually enjoys watching me work and stream. I don't understand why.
Because it's fun. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Kind of giving you the opportunity to talk shit, I guess. There's a different thought that I didn't, there was a thought that I was working on, and then, because there was something I wanted to mention. Part of the other reason why I was on a hiatus is because, last year alone, I was moving from, why I stepped down from staff at the FurCon, is that I was in the process of working on, buying a home, which is obviously where I'm at now. Working on doing that, and then also working on finishing up my transition, because if it was not relatively obvious, I am I am trans. I try to flag it where I can, even in a subtle way. Like what I do with this is that I actually have, on this side, I've got the non-binary pride flag. So I actually finished up my transition last year. So I actually closed down the home in April, got possession of the keys in May. The same day I got possession of the keys, I was told that what my surgery confirmation date was. So I had to kind of like scramble in a way to make sure that I was ready and prepped so that I can do everything necessary for this transition. And then that was just to get back to work, it was about 2.5 months that I was out of work and no paycheck, no short-term disability, nothing. So I really did have to focus on myself. So I knew I couldn't spend the time or energy to be staff for the con, so I had to take a 1-year hiatus. But after this convention, I'm probably going to return as staff. And then also another thing I wish to mention as well is that if you ever, for whatever reason, end up missing a stream, don't worry. Wednesdays at 6 p.m., I go ahead and I post this live stream up on my YouTube channel so that you can go ahead and still go back and see what it was that I did and essentially not miss anything. Come on. The other thing that I actually got coming up, this will be streamed live on YouTube, not my Twitch, is that I actually went ahead and I actually host a panel at Motor City FurCon, which is coming up in March 23rd to the 24th. Or no, 23rd to 26th, I think it is. That weekend, I actually host a interview panel where I find one bigger name guest. I see your comment. Sorry I'm not super often on Twitch. Might miss like every stream or almost. That's alright, you could always go onto the YouTube. But with the panel, I try to find someone who's kind of like bigger name to try to draw people in. But what I do is I also interview a smaller time artist in the local community to kind of give them an opportunity to have the mic, have the stage, have an opportunity to kind of like promote themselves and get people to know them a little bit, and also it kind of gets them on the internet a bit. So if people find my stream and they like that artist, they know how to contact them, and maybe they get some commissions, some side cash, or maybe end up turning this thing that was a hobby into a legitimate business for themselves. So I try to pay it back where I can. But there's a guest from New York that's coming to Motor City FurCon. He goes ahead and he actually frequents it, but I'm getting him as my special guest. And then there's an artist, that's in the community that I am helping out as well. So what I'd love to be able to do is I'd love to be able to take this panel and actually take it to other furry conventions. But I do appreciate the fact, given the context of your comments, that you might miss like every stream or so. Honestly, I do greatly appreciate the fact that you ended up giving me the follow. because one of the goals that I'd love to be able to do is hit affiliate status. Because with affiliate status on Twitch, I can actually have ways to interact with the chat. Like I can have like channel points you guys can redeem, like sounds. I can have, you guys do, highlighted comments, and do like Q&A type stuff. So I'm really hoping that over time I can reach affiliate status. Granted, sooner rather than later, but I would love to be able to do that. And then actually, just because it came to mind, because it is a very common question I get, the reason why I have the mask on isn't necessarily for COVID, because it is myself and my friend. We were more than 6 feet apart, if that is of anyone's concern, but really, it is a matter of keeping my face hidden, because I do have a fursuit. It was self-made, and I want to make sure, because one of the things I do as a perk of my panel is that those that actually come to the con and see me in person, one of the perks that I kind of give them is that I do a cameras off Q&A portion, where I go ahead, I take the suit head off, partly so I can breathe and cool off a bit. But it gives the audience an opportunity to ask further questions of my panelists or of me. So that's something that I try to kind of keep as a perk that's specific for those that end up making it to that panel. But I like coffee, and doing leather work in a fursuit is a bit tricky, so in order to honor that, I go ahead and wear the half mask so that I still have the dexterity that I need to do leather work, but still honor the perk that I try to give those that meet me in person. And for those that actually might still be in the chat, because I see currently I have 2 viewers. Oh, that was the thing that I didn't do. The one place that I didn't broadcast it. My Twitter.
Oh.
I'm just like, well, I've been on hiatus for a little bit because I have my own mental health stuff. But I want to take 2 seconds actually. And I want to post that on Twitter. This should only take 2 seconds. would explain why things were probably crashing. As I was putzing around with the post. Hey, Dan just popped in. How's it going, Dan? But I didn't post it on Twitter. But I did mention that one of the projects I'm going to be finishing up today, because once this gets stitched, it's just rivets. Rivets should be quick. And then I can move on to the next project for finishing, which is going to be the leather wallet that I will be donating to Motor City FurCon to assist with raising money for the charity that they are going to be supporting. But Dan, to answer your question, I'm doing good. I know I've mentioned it a few times already. I had to go on hiatus for several months. Myself and the holidays don't mix. I'm also going through and doing a lot of therapy and trauma processing, realizing that there's a lot of trauma that I have that I have forgotten about, that I had experienced as a kid, and every time that there was like a trauma that happened in my life, it was always around October and the several months after. So I've been talking with my therapist, and we have a solid theory that part of why I have a massive activity spike in my depression is because maybe there's a subconscious reaction of going into survival mode, and emotions getting really low for about 3 months because of all that trauma. So having to deal with that is why I had to stop doing leathercrafting and streaming for a while, is just because I did not have the mental wherewithal or energy to be able to do any of this. So, because I noticed that right after the holidays, like within the first week of January, my mood started to improve. Oh, yeah, I know that feeling, Dan. After just waking up, I woke up at 8:30, and then in 30 minutes I had to make my coffee. I had to set this up. I had streaming issues. OBS kept crashing, and now so far everything is fine. But we will get through this together. But I'm glad to see you return. Yes. Granted, in my life, with my health always, with your health always coming first, that really did not actually stick with me, or was something that I quote unquote believed in, really up until like the last couple of years, because with so much stuff that happened in my life as a kid, I was the baby of the family, but I always put my family first. There's a memory that I completely forgot about, that in the process of going through my trauma processing, I ended up talking with my parents, and my mom went ahead and ended up jogging my memory that there was a time when I was younger, probably like 11 or 12 years old, that my normal everyday shoes that I would wear for everything, out and about when I'm at school and everything, that there was a time that my mom noticed and pointed out the fact that my shoes were falling apart. And I went ahead, and I remember telling her, after she mentioned it, I was like, shit, I actually remember that this happened, but I completely forgot that it did happen. But I told her, I was just like, I didn't say anything because I know we don't have the money. Because my dad ended up losing his job, and grandfather passed away, and then sister ended up getting sick, so medical bills started piling up. So I bottled stuff up. I pretty much started making a lot of self-sacrifices, because you know, I understood, and when I was growing up, is like money was an object. I know a lot of people say it's like, oh, money is no object. For me, growing up, money was an object. So I try to keep that in mind with things that I do, because I understand that in my current actual everyday job, that I'm actually very lucky that I have a job that pays me as well as it does. I try not to let that go to my head, and I try to help my friends out where I'm able to. If not monetarily, in some capacity, you know, let's go out, you know, get a drink, or let's go out and get some food. I'll treat you, don't worry about it. You know, one of the things that I'm working on right now in the home is, after doing a couple of updates, I am hoping and planning on having a safe room, essentially, so that if one of my friends is in a safety issue or in dire need, that I can give them a safe place with some initial supplies. It's like, hide out here, don't tell anyone you're here, and you have a safe space to be at where you can kind of, you know, hide out. There's a friend of mine that had some concerns with domestic violence stuff. This was at an old apartment, and I said, here's my address, grab your basic essentials, medication, CPAP machine, because they had that issue. CPAP machine, like 2 or 3 days worth of clothes. I said, here's my address, peace the fuck out, tell no one. And I, until things blew over and settled, I gave her a safe spot to hide out at for about 2.5 weeks. And after experiencing that for the second time ever in my life, of being able to help a friend, I was like, no, I want to do this multiple times. So it kind of became a unintended passion, I guess, of being able to be in a position where I can help out those that I am close with when they are in need. I might not openly advertise it to those people, but I try to keep my ear to the ground when that type of thing happens, so I can help them out. Son of a bitch, get him. There we go. Get him the hole. Sorry, I ended up going on that very long... Damn it! Sorry, I ended up going on that very long rant, Dan, but, all said, I'm glad that you are here, and I'm glad that you are back. I'm glad to see that I got people that are popping up. Alright, almost done with the stitching on this one. I accidentally bumped the camera. I don't like it when it bounces because sometimes it makes you guys uneasy. There we go. So for those that are viewing that might not know, the type of stitching I'm doing right now is known as a saddle stitch. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm looping it in on itself as I'm going through, and that makes it so that the stitching itself is more robust. So that if, and it's unlikely, but if the stitching were to ever be compromised, it won't just unravel because it is locked in on itself. It almost kind of looks like if you just did like a constant like figure eight, but rather than putting a figure eight where it kind of closes in on itself, you just kind of keep it going. So it's like doing like this, and then it keeps going. Well, let's use the overview camera. It's like doing this, and then it keeps going. So I've actually had a couple of projects of mine, because I've had them like for 5 or 6 years, personal projects of mine, where just over wear and tear, the stitching came apart actually at the place where I ended it. The knot came loose. So I actually was still able to use the item for a couple of weeks afterward until I had the time to actually fix the stitching. And now I'm still using those items. And this is why, for me personally, I prefer hand-stitched items over machine-stitched when I'm doing projects, because it is more robust and it will last longer. Because whenever I'm working on a project, the goal that I have always is to make it so that pretty much I make it once. The item itself should last years, if not a lifetime. Really should only need minimal upkeep. There we go. So as part of the additional finishing touches that I'm doing on the stitch side of things, and this was something that I learned, because it really helps with the quality, is when you're doing stitching, it actually helps is using a hammer. If you use a metal one, you always want to make sure it's clean. But currently, like, I can actually feel the actual stitching threads actually are slightly raised. So when doing that, it actually makes them flat, makes it less likely that these will actually catch if anything grazes up against it. Beautiful. Got that handled. Now, whoops. Now for some dirty bean juice. Dirty bean juice. And I want a refill. Getting a little cold.
Yeah.
So, when I was talking with the customer of this item, I ended up doing a light mock-up of the item itself with a bunch of scrap that I had left over, to make sure that they actually were totally okay with the design and how I wanted to have, or what my thoughts were to have it done. They were totally game for it. So that is that. And that is. It's me on the back side, so it doesn't matter. I need to get my other hardware. Oh. And I realized that my overview camera did not come back. There we go. That's better. I want these for the top. Those could be for the bottom. And that can stay. That can go in there. Excellent. There's several tricks that I've learned in doing this for way too damn long. So to make sure that I'm not marking this up, what I do is I have a scrap piece of leather that I pull a scrap piece of leather and I have it cover the metal to metal contact so it doesn't mar this up from the metal to metal contact. And it actually turns out really lovely pretty much every time, given that I don't accidentally fuck it up. Like with what I just did. Rivets are one of the few things where like you can accidentally fuck it up, because you can actually go ahead and you can actually pull rivets. Yeah, but I accidentally messed that up. More specifically, what I messed up was there's an additional piece of hardware in this. That I did not put in, so I accidentally done messed up. There we go. What I messed up on this is there's the piece of hardware that I need. Is this. This is for the slide adjuster. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Before doing that, I want to burnish this. And we're going to do that.
We're gonna give this a nice clean edge. Whoops! Accidentally went for a ride. Beautiful. Look at that nice shiny edge that we got there. Hopefully it comes through. If anyone ever has a question about the process, by all means, leave a comment. And I just saw your comment. I don't hide the fact that my mental health is bad enough that I've been put on a waiting list for a long-term psychiatric hospital in my province. So I'm guessing you're from Canada, and sadly, the treatment is not easily accessible in the community. I will say, I am glad that trying to think of the right word. I would say the fact that mental health has become not necessarily acceptable, but the fact that it has become more visible. That's the word I'm looking for. It's become more visible in the general populace, and that it's, from what I can tell, is losing its stigma. I do greatly appreciate the fact that that is starting to become a thing as a part of our world and society, is that it's losing that stigma. Yes, there we go. I need to make sure that I set, do one, and two, all three. Most excellent. Give it a couple more love taps. Alright. We're making some beautiful headway. What I'm not sure... Well, there's no way that's going to be deep enough. I have to do that from underneath. There we go. There we go. And come on, there you go. I need to make sure these sit. So I'm using the smallest rivet head that I can on the top end, so it doesn't protrude out unnecessarily. But I'm technically using an unmatched one on the other side that's a slightly bigger head. There we go. And I'm not using any protector on this because I need the flat side of this for punching this. Because I want to make sure this sits flat up here to make sure it's not interfering with the other side of the latch. And with that, get my bone folder so I can make sure this is open and ready. Last thing we got to do is burnish the edges here. And we got ourselves a finished bracelet. And to show how this actually works is how this will work. This will be the way that they can adjust it. The kid that's going to be receiving this is a 13-year-old, at least so I'm told. And the 13-year-old is definitely a growing boy for sure. So, the idea being, this gives him the opportunity to keep this for a while and have the adjustment. And that was the one thing I didn't do. I did not seat this. Helps if I seat that. Let us do that right quick. There we go, much better. So that as he grows older, he'll have that adjustment necessary. And then that way, he can keep this as the appropriate adjustment. And then when taking it on and off, it is just this latch. And I actually really like how this came out. This came out really, really beautiful. This came out really, really well. I'm super happy about it. Alright. Now, let us get on to our final touches. First things first, make sure that there's no glue exposed. So I'm just taking an eraser that actually will take out any exposed glue. Actually kind of rips it out in a way. There we go. Actually, I'm going to try. Could be too thin, that's better. Which I'm probably going to do as well on this is I'm probably going to do a black edge coat on this. Give this a nice clean finish on the edge. On top of what I'll already be doing. And then I can take the slightly more professional photos of this. I'm trying to remember, blue's complement is purple. I'm no color theory person.
No, purple's complement is orange.
Yes, it is. Portal.
No, you are right.
It's purple?
No, it's orange and blue. Yellow and purple are complementary.
Gotcha.
It's orange and blue. I think it was orange and purple.
Huh?
I don't know why I thought it was orange and purple.
Mm.
Ouch.
Freaking excellent. So that's finished. Keep those out. Now, do the edge coat, which I want to do black. In terms of being able to do it, I'm trying to remember what I usually do. That's what I did. A little bit more fine-tuned control with this. Yeah, this is turning out really good. I think I did this in I did this in the paintbrush. My last project I did. It's been a hot minute. This paintbrush sounds about right for what I did. I will say on the plus side, I've been tracking the time and I know where I'm at, but this literally gives me the final, this will be able to give me the final number, so I can do the math to know how to chart, how much additional I need to charge the guy. Because I track time. Ooh, that was almost bad. That was almost an accident. Sorry, chat, that I'm so quiet right now, having to really focus on this because this requires a lot of concentration. Just to make sure I'm consistent around the edges here. God, this is looking really, really good. So happy about this. Just pretty sure all I got is this last edge here. And I think we're done. Just make sure that I can balance this. So that can properly dry. One project down, one to go. Or actually several to go. But next project on the docket should be really quick on this. This is a wallet that I actually made a long time ago. But what we're doing here is that this is actually going to be donated to a furry convention that's coming up. And need to do something to kind of make this somewhat unique. I don't want to tear all this apart because the stitching process on this is a bitch to be able to do something, but I need to do something. So instead, what I want to do, it's going to be a bit tricky, and I hope to God that it takes. I actually want to, the first thing I want to do is I actually need to find a demo piece. Let me find a demo piece. Aha! scrap area. Just need a tiny scrap. Don't need these bigger chunks. That'll work. So, I need to see if this actually takes stamping. So, what we're going to do is need to be able to case the leather first. And first thing I want to do, I need to map out 3/4, 3/8. Numbering's not going to be right. That's only letters. Gonna have to do that. So first things first. Case this. Can you do me a favor?
No.
Possibly. Now Olive. There we go.
Ew. I don't like that this says ooey gooey on it. That's kind of gross.
You're just like, that is not how you properly advertise something like that.
No.
So I need to see if this will case and get wet and stay wet with any capacity. Because if it can, then I might be in luck. Where I don't have to fully make this, I don't have to fully pull this apart in order to do stamping on something. So I can actually just stamp it onto the leather on the back side and how it exists. So we're going to wing this. It will take. Beautiful. I know exactly what I need to do then. It's going to be... Yep. C... C is going to be doubled. And then I need it to 23. Because it's either going to be these or it's going to be something way smaller. So my hand is kind of forced. What's the size of this? 3/4? I might have accidentally been, might have actually been wrong. Because these are 3/4 as well. But sizing wise, I might have to do C, F, M. Now we need to map this out. That's going to be, what I want to do is 23. This 2023 is not going to work all the way across. Alternatively, I could do this. So it would be M, C, F, C. That will work. probably do that. And then a bunch of specialty punches that I can do. Got wolf paw, got lions, got Celtic knot, dog bone, cartoon dog, paw print. Torn between these two. Alternatively, the other thing that I can do is keep it empty and make it so that whoever wins, I can do a decorative stamp of choice.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I like that idea. Alright. So I think we have a game plan. The only other thing that I need to do is if I remember correctly, yes, this is going to be the apostrophe mark that I use because it's not 2023, it's going to be 23, so I'm going to do a little swoop. Shoop de whoop. This is going to be a little bit of a trick, but we got a game plan. That means the other thing I'm probably going to have to do is that I'm probably going to have to go to my supplier. I'm going to have to buy a bunch more different types of decorative stamps so I have options. Dan, found out yesterday I'm going to be an uncle. Congratulations! Congratulations! So I'm guessing like you just found out in terms of like they just came out being like I'm pregnant, or are we actually a little bit later in the pregnancy for said relative? Well, I don't want to say like what's the details, but like
give me the deets.
yeah, like what's the story? I guess would be the more apt. Would be the more apt description. Aww, been practicing making beanies so that I can give them as gifts and hopefully sell them. That would be super awesome if you were able to pull, if you're not pull, but if you were able to do that, that would be super cool. And I hope in time that I actually might be able to do possibly something similar, because and I've actually, what's weird is that I've had this discussion and there's no like solid answer per se, because I'm technically an uncle, but I'm non-binary, so it's like, okay, what am I?
Yeah. Not a good word for it.
Yeah, this worked out fucking awesome. I like how this looks. That looks really good.
Wow.
That looks really, really good. I like that. This is where things get tricky because it's towards the end, so it could roll. At which point I feel like I should probably just do it a little bit lower. Or if you're seeing it there, pretty much making it like right above it. Thinking like doing it like right above it. I think that's probably going to be the right move. A little bit more punch on the top end. Yeah. Oh, that looks really good. Really happy and stoked about that. Finally, final C. Fucking awesome. Now I just want to do a decorative mark. I think this is going to be the right move. Don't know. All my mom said that I'm going to be an uncle. Well, either way, congratulations. That's still super exciting. Yes. No. Spacing doesn't work out. Why?
Dictionary.com has some kind of funny gender neutral words. I mean, I guess they're not any more funny than aunt and uncle. Those are kind of funny sounding words.
That's fair. Fucking excellent. L, M, N, E, F, C. That can go away, that can go back. Well, I hope everything goes out all the way through when it comes to the birth of the child, when it actually happens. That can sometimes be a very daunting and terrifying experience because, you know, God forbid there's a miscarriage that occurs, which was the case of my sister when she got pregnant for the first time. It is devastating when that happens, but I do hope everything goes through well. Alright. That is one thing done. And actually the other thing I could probably do is I could actually probably stamp their name on the inside there. I could do that at the con. Or initials. So I'm going to have this stuff handy for me at the convention. But I have that answer. Alright, 2 projects down. Let's go.
We're only at 10:30.
Yeah, I know. Fucking at a breakneck pace. 10:15, hour 15-ish. Just gonna say another, hour 15. I need a log time It's 2, 3. So, I need to do some quick calculations so I can have the final number. Yes. Then I'm just going to message the gent so that he knows. There we go. Alrighty, it's 2 projects down. We have our donation wallet that we're going to be giving to the upcoming convention. Got the Christmas memento bracelet with a little interior pocket there for someone named Aiden. I'm actually super happy how that panned out. I cannot stress that enough. It looks freaking gorgeous. And now, the next thing that we got lined up is, I can go in there. Now we get to figure out the game of dyeing, D-Y-E. Because we set that actually back over here. Somewhat out of the way. Alright. And the person is super happy that it is done. Alright, we get to play the game of how much do I have to dye this thing? Honestly, I am pretty positive on that dark chocolate. I'm just having to dye it enough to make sure that it's the right color. Or as close a matching color as I can. As far as gender neutral replacement for uncle or whatever, just your name works too. I agree. What's going to be, because my family is traditional-ish, I guess. When I was raised, it was with our aunts and uncles. It was, you know, what was it? Uncle Bill, Auntie Carrie. So it was actually aunt and uncle, and then insert name. So it's a bit tricky in that regard. Some of the ones that I've heard, I don't know how accurate is one thing at one point I saw online was that someone was saying using Uma, O-O-M-A, which I guess is from a different language of just like parental sibling, and I have to double check the actual history of that term to see like if that's actually accurate or not.
So the one of them on dictionary.com was pibbling.
Parental sibling.
Yeah.
I don't like that though. Like I understand
It sounds-
it, but I don't like it.
It sounds kind of funny to me.
Yeah, that's our winner. That's a dead match. So that's what we're doing. I'm always very delicate when it comes to the dye process. Especially when it comes to smaller objects like this. because I don't want to add dye to a segment that's already like dyed and finished. Just want to get in the area that is new or being reconditioned. But this is like a dead match. Which I'm super happy about. Yeah, that is a dead match. Which is fucking awesome. Like, that looks like it's like straight out of like what it originally would be.
It really does look really good.
That's awesome. Love how this is like an exact match. That's fucking excellent. God, I'm so happy about that. And actually might even get a closer match once this dries and I actually apply some finishing compound to it. Just some ink oil. Very simple stuff. Is this thing something that you're adding the part you dyed to it? Yes. So this is actually a coworker's flashlight case. He's had this for years and he loves it, and he wants to keep it as original as possible, which I respect. But the problem is that we both work in an automotive manufacturing plant, and we're working around brand new vehicles. We don't want to cause any sort of damage to those vehicles, because then that's just going to cause downtime. The vehicle's not ready to be delivered to the dealership. So we try to eliminate our influence into that possible system as much as we can. They actually hand out like belt protector pads and a couple other things. The problem is that this is a custom thing, and we're constantly fishing out for flashlights, because we need to be able to see things in dark places. This originally used to have a metal snap on it, like a little button snap. Problem is that that's exposed metal on this side, so it runs the risk of damaging the cars as he's walking by them. So he had me, at his request, to remove the button and to use a magnet, because I ended up making him a magnet case for a different flashlight from scratch. So what I did is that I did, magnet this side, magnet this side. I had to glue this in place to make sure it held, and then the other thing I need to do once this dries is I actually need to stitch this into it through the existing stitch holes that are already there. That's going to be tricky on both sides here. So that's part of where I'm running into a little bit of a quirk, because it's like, okay, how do I pull this off? Because I couldn't pre-stamp it because the spacing on this isn't going to be exact. So yeah, I'm having to work around that little trick. It's going to be interesting. But this is really all I gotta do. This has just gotta sit here for now. It's gotta dry, and then I'll be able to finish it off stream. Don't want to be stitching everything the entire time that I'm doing this. So that's another project done. Well, done, essentially. So I got that done and handled. And I want some coffee. And I've done those types of modifications to things before, and I actually really enjoy it. You know, it's probably one of the main reasons why I even got in the automotive industry in the first place. Being able to take something, fix it, or take something and improve on it. So it's something that I thoroughly enjoy. So being in a position where I actually do that, I really, really enjoy. Trying to think. Yeah, we'll go to that project next. Alright, this is going to be a project that we're essentially going fresh on. This is going to be tricky. So, a good friend of mine, going to keep that. This I need moved out of the way. I want to make sure that quote unquote doesn't taint anything. This is probably mostly dried and cured. Get this back out of the way. That back in there. Let me find a better place for you. It's my butane recharge. So, next project on the docket. Gotta adjust the camera so there's gonna be a lot of squeaking. Did I get that almost in the first shot? That's awesome. That's awesome. This is a fashion belt that they have. I saw it and immediately irked me because they have this thing and it's obviously fake leather that they're using. My brain goes, I can make that out of real leather, and I could probably do it a lot quicker, or better than what it's at. So I want to mimic what's already here. That's not going to be hard. But she's a bigger individual. But I need to make sure there's some stretch here for her, because this, as it sits, it'll go around most of the way, but then she just has to have a little bit of flex in the item there. So what I want to do is I want to make this pretty much entirely leather except for the very last back portion, and still keeping the original black and all like the decorative rivets, blah blah blah. So I need to copy that first. What I want to do is I want to do a little bit heavier grade leather, not too terribly so. Let's see. So they use two pieces and they just rivet all that shit together, which I can still do that. That's not a huge problem. I can still honor the original design by using rivets. That's not hard. What I want to do is on the back side to make sure it is stable and robust is as the leather as it's coming around on the back side, I want this folded over. That can be riveted and then throw a stitch line right here as additional reinforcement. So first things first, let's figure out how long we need to make this. For starters, we're looking at, let's bring this over to my 10 mark, 10 to call it 48. So we're looking at 38 inches of leather. No, sorry, not 38 inches. I want to take this, I want to take these segments off so I'm compensating for the fact that there's going to be some stretch there. So really we're looking at, here's my 10 mark,
41. Looking at 31 inches. 31 inches of leather. The fuck was that? There's probably something underneath. 31 inches of leather. Let's do. Whoops. That fell. What gauge is that? That is a 7 ounce. That's probably overkill. That is 5 ounce. That's better. Yeah. I'm thinking 5 ounce for that. That's probably going to be a better move. Well, unless. That works beautifully. It's going to be heavier grade, but it is okay by me. So 31 inches. $31 by how much? It's 31 by 2 3/4. Oops. Let's do this first. If I drew a line there, did that 2 3/4 puts me off the mark there. If I do that though, if I draw a line here, if I'm going to be going end to end, 2 3/4 puts me here. And I need 31 inches. So you put me here. So that's my straight line mark. We'll go 2 3/4 from that. And make sure I'm squared up on my score line. I'm going to do 2 3/4 right there. Since I have my straight line, and
Actually, that was a trick that I learned before. I need to make sure I don't fuck this up. It should be 2 3/4. So to make sure I have as straight a line as I can, straight and accurate. There's a dot there, and that dot should line up there. Yup. Trick I learned, almost forgot, to make sure the ruler doesn't shift. Throw on my granite plate. So making other projects that required a straight line, I have fucked that up before in the past. Garbage. Garbage. Right there. Appreciate you sticking around for so long, Dan. Alright. This is a long enough piece that I actually might be able to use this for something else. So this is not quite garbage. And then all I gotta do here is square up my ruler here to the dot that I marked. And make sure that I have as minimal waste as possible. Lovely. Alright, got that set. Now what I need to do is I need to find center. So if it's 31, that'd be 15 and a half. Yeah. to bump up quality on this. So rather than keep the raw leather on the back here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it. No, not there. Definitely not there. Not long enough. I'm going to line it with some deer tan cowhide, hoping that I have this piece long enough. Ooh, that might have just been fucking perfect. Aha! Beautiful. That works for one piece, which is totally okay. And then, definitely nope. Is that is suede. That is deer tan. Huh! Beautiful. I have a piece that's not as big though. That is also suede. So what's buzzing? Oh, that's me. So what we'll do I actually need to go ahead and I need to move / remount these so I can put more noise panels actually over here. That'll be a different project for the day. So they did not fold this over when they originally made this. Let's see, do I want to? No. I can do that better. So do that there. That'll be... No, we'll do that on the inside. So this gets glued down. This will get glued down. Do that there. Oh, I can actually do both of these pieces on the same strip. That's freaking excellent. I'll save this for something else then. Yeah, we'll do that. So glue those down. Right? I'm like doing all the thinking and math like in my head. So quite frankly, I want to do that. I don't think I'll be able to though. Because if I go ahead and I stitch the fabric in there, I can stitch the fabric in there so long as I split this. I don't have to worry about that being in the way. And it's enough that I can actually do that. So what we'll do we'll slice what I need off of this. We'll do three, 4 inches.
Do 3.5 inches. No, we're gonna do 4 because I'm gonna overlap this. I want to make sure it's done right. So we're gonna do 5 and then overlap an inch. Yes. One, two, three, four, 5. And then we'll overlap an inch on each side. And make sure that these don't constantly fray off. See your comment, Dan. I'm excited to have some work for at least the next couple of weeks at my day program. So extra money for me. Hell yeah. Everyone can use that extra cash. I always do that. Just reflex. Sit here trying to blow something when I got a damn mask on.
That's what she said. It's the only kind of joke I know how to make.
Yeah. I think. That's getting too thin. That'll work. And it's practically the right size. We're at 11:05. Damn. Doing great timing. This is why I keep crazy glue nearby. Ah! What the fuck? Oh, that's not okay, but also interesting. Apparently crazy glue melts synthetic fabric.
Really?
Yeah, I was seeing smoke here. I was like, what the fuck? And it was actually, like, hot. It's actually having a chemical reaction. It was,
You learn something new every day.
in this case, it was something very scary. I was like, what is happening? Note to self, don't use crazy glue from now on. Because Gorilla Glue is not doing that to me. Alright, now I need to make sure this gets time to cure. So I'm going to use my granite here, make sure that sticks. This, I just need to make sure this is square up. This is going to be this replacement piece. And that's going to be something that's probably going to have to be cased and wet molded before before putting it in place. And to honor this original design, I'm going to do rivets all throughout. Yeah, I'm going to do rivets all throughout here and here
I need to do stitching on the back side and then rivets. So I want to mark my stitching. All I'm using here is I'm using a compass to make sure I can have uniform lines for the stitching itself. That's probably too much for what I want. That'll be fine. That's going to be stitching. That's going to be stitching. Make sure I don't fuck that up. I'm going to groove that bitch right away. Like making sure you guys can actually see it. Yep. So got my grooves there. And then for spacing of the rivets itself, I know what I want to do. Is I have this belt template, so I'm not killing a whole ton of materials. They have pre-punched holes for everything. Hopefully you can see it. But they have pre-punched holes for this so I can actually have even spacing going all the way across. Oh yeah, that was super attractive. So, the next thing I'm pretty much at is no, not quite. What I need to do is on this side I need to make the mark for where these are going to be. So I need to just get a hole, poke a hole on either side of this so that I know that is where this is going. Then on this side, because that's going to be here. I need to take these off. Whoop! Too big. I don't know if I have one small enough for this. Haha, success. Ooh, those are tiny. This just got tricky. I'm making sure I'm getting this right. Yes, that was that way. As I see the curve there. So on this side, I need to mark and mark. So I know where those are going. I'm keeping this in the general orientation so that I know all that is going to be set up right. Because these are hella short screws. And this is super thick in comparison. So it's gonna be tricky to see if I can get that to work or salvage or whatever. It'll be tricky. I could probably get it. All right. Let's punch this out.
because I don't want this visible. I don't want the screws visible from the back side. I don't think. Because I don't think that's going to be moving at all anytime soon. So that's what we'll do. I also need to make sure this not only that this will fit, but the screws will touch it. I'm trying to be very careful about this because I don't want to over torque them. I just need to see if this bites. Yes! Fucking excellent. Cool. That works. Make sure this gets dyed right. So honestly, I think I'm gonna have to have the screws seen on the inside. That'll be okay. That'll be alright because I'll have the chrome rivets on the inside and that'll actually look okay. Yep, that'll work. Here's where things really kind of start to suck.
Oh no.
Mainly it's just because of the level of glue I'll need to use. Because they say for a stronger bond, adhere them when they're wet. So it's like I gotta like kind of move quick. But I gotta be careful though of having glue be over the edges. So it's like it's a quick art form. I'm keeping my eye on the chat. Didn't see anything new pop up. Because I also need to do this on this side. And leather tends to be very absorbent. another coat on this side, kind of prep it a bit. This is number 1. Alright. That should be good. That is too small. Well, that is just big enough. And that way there's pressure holding it in place. Coconut! Hey! Now streaming on Twitch and YouTube, or something might not right with notifications. Ah, Twitch archive. After the streams are over here, after a while they got transported to YouTube as VOD. Yes, you are correct. If you were, since it seems like you were already following me on YouTube to get you up to speed, pretty close. To get you up to speed, what is happening is I am still going to be doing some streaming stuff on YouTube, because the biggest thing that I did on YouTube was I was doing those interviews, but I'm not stopping that. But at this point, I'm pretty much focusing those efforts to be for conventions. Because Motor City FurCon coming up in March, I am likely going to be having my panel hosted there again. At which point, I already have a artist and special guest lined up. I already got confirmation from them about it, but it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to do that at my actual new home, just because it's like that's my safe space. I don't exactly want, people to, know exactly where I live, type of thing. But I still would like to do that. Something that I would like to try to do is actually take it somewhat on the road, or at least take it to other conventions. So I could do it more, that I can have more uploads there. I'm not totally abandoning YouTube. Part of going to Twitch is that it gives me more means when I reach affiliate status to be able to interact with you guys, because you can redeem channel points and set in highlighted messages or emotes or sound alerts or sound bites or whatever. So it gives me a bit from what I can see, what I have experienced, being in other chats of people that I follow. It gives more means to interact with the chat, and that's kind of why I'm making a little bit of a stronger push here over on Twitch. In terms of YouTube's going to be the archive for any Twitch stuff that I do, but I'll still be doing stuff on YouTube also. I just kind of need to figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing over there. So it's a bit of a work in progress. But I have not forgotten about the YouTube at all. Yeah, a little bit of a learning curve, trying to figure out exactly how and what I want to do. But I'm glad you found me. Glad I saw that. I went ahead at the beginning of the stream. I went ahead and did a shout out to you and Sea Bear, which are actually the two latest followers I have. And actually, I know Sea Bear from my days doing stuff over with Time Twister. and that was during the pandemic. I was also running into a lot of issues with YouTube when I started doing my streaming again. I don't know if it was because I was using a VPN. I don't know exactly what was all going on there. But I'm trying to figure out some of the details of like how I want to like use or integrate YouTube with things. So it's a little bit of a learning curve. My apologies in advance. Got that set. Make sure that doesn't move. That's getting way too damn big. Nope. I was hopeful. Haha! Alright. Got that all set. And actually, here's a question for you, Coconut. I'm assuming that you came over from my YouTube, just based on kind of the context of the comment and everything that you made. That all said, if you are in the area, totally just blinked out there. If you're going to be in the Michigan area, I am going to be going to Motor City FurCon. I am not there as staff this year. I took a break for a year. So if you are going there, you'll not only be able to see me, but I was contacted by and I'm working with. That is not working well. I was contacted by and I'm working with my staff contacts over there at Motor City FurCon, and I'm actually going to be donating a leather piece over there as a part of the bingo panel that they have over there. That item, I actually just finished final touches on it on stream here. Not that. That's actually done. I can do the professional photos there. Is this wallet. It is made out of bison. It's got 3 slots in there. Money slot. It's got a nice slick lining in there, so it'll be easy to get stuff in and out. And I have it stamped with Motor City FurCon 23. And the other thing I'm going to be doing is that whoever ends up winning it at the bingo, I'm going to offer to do any sort of custom design stamp that I have. There's some that I have already, but I'm going to be buying some more so that whoever ends up getting it, they have that option for themselves to have that. So what we ended up doing on stream today was finishing up that wallet, assembling this bracelet, and then we ended up doing the dye process on this, where I did a modification to this flashlight case for a coworker. So that's what we've done so far. What's set here is we're doing a full leather rendition of this adjustable fashion belt. So that is what was on the docket today. And quite frankly, I am very surprised that I am very much not only ahead of the curve, but ahead of schedule for everything that I was doing today. Like, I'm pretty much, like, out of projects, essentially. I did not think I'd be able to bang these out that fast. I got 1 hour left. And I want some dirty bean juice.
Dirty beef juice.
What I could do is I can actually take the professional photos. Or the more professional photos. What's going to be tricky, though, is how I'm going to do it, quote unquote. Because what I've done in the past, and it actually looks really, really good, is I've actually gone ahead and I've used this as a background. But the problem is that on certain angles, it shows the backside, so I'm like, shit, how do I work around that? So that gets a bit tricky. Because I know what I could do, but it still gets hard. But I'm going to see. Can you kill that light? Yeah, because it was giving me glare off the granite. And actually, the other thing I want to do is I want to go high. Clean your lens for cleaner pictures. Bitch, don't tell me what to do.
Does it anyway.
I'm a strong, independent nutsack who don't need no balls. I'm getting glare from that. Am I allowed to have? Yes. Here's where things get interesting. There we go. And we're going to add the flash to this. That's a better picture. Actually, gonna fucking rotate that. I think. Want to turn that light back on for me again? Oh, I just pinched myself. I think. So that's done. We're going to go ahead, we're going to get this one now. Do full again. Hey, JJR Guitar Man. Steak. Just repeated steak or meat. It's good to see a first time chatter in this. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm just doing some of the final photos. Go. And with that, last thing I want to do is I want to do a little bit of conditioning on this. Use good old meat oil. Meat. I see you meeting up my chat. Ourselves a scrap piece here. We're gonna buff it out a smidge. So to catch you up, JJR, I might just call you Guitar Man. It's a little bit easier on my side. Finishing up a commission piece here. A friend of mine went ahead and commissioned me for a bracelet for a friend's kid. And he wanted a little pocket on the inside. So that he could put like notes from his parents in there. So I went ahead and got this all assembled today. Worked on it a little bit yesterday as I was talking with the person who was commissioning me to make sure I had the design fully hashed out into his liking. And he was quite happy with what I had proposed. So he said, go for it. He said, go for it and do the design. He was very happy with it. That is a finished piece. Nice. Work the leather a little bit. JJ is also good. That sounds cool. Thank you. I'm guessing you were talking about the that sounds cool about the project. And if you don't mind me asking, how'd you end up finding me? Was it from my Twitter post? Was it from one of the posts I threw on Reddit? Was it from just a search in Twitch? Because I have had that happen before. Yes, there were several that I mentioned though. What I want to do, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this all buttoned up. God, I really like how this turned out. This guy is getting a beautiful, beautiful bracelet.
just working it a bit. Group chat. Oh, okay. I think I know which one that you're referring to. I have a good assumption. But thank you so much for joining. I'm glad to have you on. What we're going to do, since I've got this here, is I'm going to reuse a box that I have. We'll reuse a box. So I don't think I have anything else that's smaller. That will work. Might have been an accident on the line. Bigger or smaller? I do not know. It is bigger. That is lame. Boxes that I get, I try to reuse so that I'm not just, ordering stuff and wasting it. Keeps costs down. But I think we got a winner here. So let's go and get this bitch packed up. That works a little bit too well. Those are trash bags. Whoops. That will not work for what I want. I know what I can do. Packing paper from a previous item that I ordered. Oh my god, that's freaking beautiful. Freaking perfect. Most excellent. Remove any other barcodes and stuff from what this was. And all I need to do is ship this out. Little keychain to throw in there. We'll also throw in this. And throw in one of these. And we're at 11:44. I got 5 viewers in here. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Alright. Now I just need to remember what the URL is to this because it doesn't like showing up on my phone.
Bear with me, everyone. Ah, no. Damn it. Ah. Phone is malfunctioning. Okay, now that I have it right. Alright. Lovely. Majestic. Got that all hashed out. And now I get to message the individual. Ugh. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Ugh. There we go. And once I get that address, I'll be able to send it out today. Most excellent. That is that. That is that. Then I can do the final professional photos for this. Actually, no, I can't because I need to still do the stitching. Never mind. There we go. All right. That's actually pretty dry. So now we get to have the fun of figuring out how and where the stitches are for this. So it looks like there's one about here. gotta be careful about coming from the backside because I don't want to push the leather that I have adhered. But I might be able to be successful in doing that. This is tricky. Super tricky. I have to do it over here so I can see, guys. Sorry. I'm having to backstab the holes, which is exceedingly difficult. To retrace how the holes are there, go all through all 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth layer that I just added. That one. Final one would be this. Yep. And then that's got to go through that hole, which I am just going to spread that so that it'll be easier to find and puncture or find and stitch later. This is going to be rough. Backstab this hole again. Ooh. So I'm essentially pre-punching and piloting the holes for the stitch work so that it'll be easier to stitch it. And I think I'm successful in this endeavor. I think I got a winner there. should be able to pull that off. That's black stitching that I used. Actually, and this is why I like saving what I can, that I have extra thread from previous projects that are more than long enough for salvaging. This is going to be odd. It's going to be a hard modification. So I'm not quite sure what the best method is going to be for doing this. I'm going to have one more stitch hole in this as reinforcement. This is probably going to be the way that I have to do it. Ooh, sorry about the camera bump. That's better. All right. $11.58. I got about another 30 minutes of me doing on-stream stuff before I pass it over to my friends over in Chicago for their kind of comedy talk show that they do on Twitch. What I'm trying to do, and failing miserably, is trying to get the thread through this thing. I also got a real bad feeling that this stitching process that I'm doing is going to have to be is going to have to be focusing on using a set of pliers. To actually do the stitch work, because of how many layers I'm going to be going through, and I'm not excited about that process, and that prospect, because it takes forever. see. Pre-pushing the holes definitely did. Definitely did help. Go back through that hole. Oh no, you're good. You're good, Guitar Man. I've done that type of stuff before. Or I've just got where I've got a Twitch stream in the background while I'm doing stuff at work or just being bored. You are totally okay. Coworker actually will be very pleased that this is done. I just need to make sure I tell him that. I just need to tell him, just because of how much of a struggle and pain in the ass this was, I'm just going to have to charge him a little bit more money than I had anticipated. This was a bit of a pain in the dick. And actually, if it is of any interest to you, there is another social gathering today. It's actually at a board game store. So, definitely not bar scene. But that might be something up your alley. Pretty much it's just, show up, chat, do board games. That's of any interest.
What time is it at?
1 o'clock. And it's going to be 12:30 when I end stream. I wanted to let you know I work open to close, so probably not tonight, sadly. It's all good. I will say what will be nice is that I'll be able to have several projects done in one shot. Because that'll be 3 things off my docket of 14 that I'm currently sitting on. No. Well, I can tell my roommate left. The husky's losing his fucking mind. Oh yeah, pre-pushing the holes helped a lot on this. No, and that is why I was being careful as the glue started to come apart when I was pushing this one through.
Oh my god, that's right across from where I work.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. Literally right across the street.
I didn't know you were a gamer. What are you doing over there? Now I have an accidental idea of where you work. I already had an idea just based on the industry, but... No, I honestly don't... I don't think it is. I've been having weird-ass issues with OBS and Twitch. I think I know what I need to do. Let me try something real quick. Shouldn't have selected. I'm using Streamlabs. I'm still trying to figure out this BS. Not OBS, but this bullshit. That said, need to be on. Do me a favor. Want to try sending another sound alert? Because I logged into Streamlabs, or not Streamlabs, but I logged into my sound alerts, so I wonder if that might have done it or fixed it. Yeah, I have no idea what is going on that it is not doing it. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have, looks like I have to keep tweaking that. Figuring out what's going on. So I wonder if it's not that, if it might have been, if it might be OBS that's causing the problem. Because I'm not entirely sure. Maybe try again. Not a big deal, probably OBS, or pick up desktop volume from OBS. Well, my it wasn't picking up desktop volume because even though I'm playing music, it wasn't recognizing that I was playing music despite having selected like the right output. So I have no idea what's going on there. I'm probably gonna have to do a tester stream sometime during the week to figure out what it is that I need to do to make sure that that stuff works next time around. And figure out why audio was not coming through my headphones instead of actually going through my desktop. There we go. And I think, my dear Watson, I think we got a winner. Oh, it worked. So I wonder why I couldn't hear it. I'm gonna try something, bear with me. Because I'm pretty much done with stuff that I'm doing for today. So I can actually take a little bit of time and futz around with some of my settings. And if it is cool with you, if I borrow your services, if you will, to figure out what exactly is going on. I imagine you don't have an issue because you get to not only interact, but you have the opportunity to politely harass me. So now that works. It's all done. Alright. Going on in your picture. Where is... There it is. Ooh, that is glitchy as hell. I don't have a spot there. Go OBS. properties. I do not know which one this is. Because that's still coming from the computer, right, Holly? No idea. Oh. I think I know what the issue is. I think. I have an assumption here. Because the audio is probably coming out super loud on your guys' end, but I can't hear anything on mine. Despite the fact that my audio is at 42, 48. Holly, can you check the headset that's right in front of you? Tell me if the audio is coming from there.
Yes.
What about now?
Yes.
Still?
Still.
Hmm.
Surround off, surround on.
So it's void, that's the right one. So I'm on the right one. I'm still not hearing any audio though.
I'm still hearing
I get to do some. Let's do some troubleshooting. Yeah, I can't hear anything out of this this headset, which is very curious. Oh my god.
He's
That
singing the songs of his people.
that whiny bitch. Okay. Please replug the USB device. So it's not recognizing that it's plugged in. Fascinating. Anything coming through on your end? Unplug and replug that one. That's going into the back of the computer. Should be able to trace.
Here?
Yeah. Yeah, because now I'm hearing it suddenly. And now I'm not. So I wonder if I have it on priority.
The meat has landed.
Because it won't even launch the troubleshooter. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, dog. Yeah. It is, it's not recognizing it. The second it plugs, that's plugged in over there, I can't hear anything. Unplug that for me real quick. Again. Yeah, because now I'm hearing stuff. The music's not playing currently. Yeah, because now I'm getting the audio on this end. So I wonder if it biases it when that's plugged in.
Interesting.
I wonder. Curiosity, Guitar Man, you want to try doing a speech to, or text to speech? Unless you want to try it.
Sometimes I think about the darkness and how we are consumed by it as humans.
See, I did not hear that. Let me try something else. URL, local file. It's like I'm not hearing it. That's what's curious on my side. Because I'd like to be able to hear it. It just irks me that I can't. Ugh. I cannot read that. That is way too small. What the hell?
Sometimes I think about the darkness and how we are consumed by it as humans.
Yeah. I replayed that. You know what? I have my own curiosity.
Sometimes I think about the darkness and how we are consumed by it as humans.
I heard it now, but that's kind of fucked up. So, for some reason, I can't hear it on my end. Unless I actually have the actual Twitter or the broadcast volume up. I can't hear it through OBS, so I might have to tweak with that a bit and see what's going on.
The meat
That's
has landed.
interesting. The meat has landed. The meat is landing. I can hear it, but that's only because I've got the actual audio from the stream playing, but you guys actually might be getting double if it's also playing off the desktop. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep tweaking with this and see what's going on. But, with that said, no double. Huh. I'm gonna have to keep tweaking with this and see what needs to be done. But, my friends are gonna be streaming in a second. So, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna raid their channel real quick. So, thank you all for joining me. I've got really nothing else here to do other than take some professional photos. I will see you next week. Where I'm probably going to be working on another commission piece. I just got to figure out exactly what that is going to be. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. What the hell was that?
Ghost.
Right